Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, April 30, 2021. The country is being cautioned to heed the COVID-19 prevention and control protocols now more than ever to avert a third wave of the pandemic in Jamaica. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa McKenzie made that urging at the Ministry of Health and Wellness's virtual COVID-19 update and conversation yesterday.
And what will a third wave look like? Our starting point is not going to be as low as it was in August last year or even in December of last year. We're going to have higher starting points that are going to result in possibly very, very high rates, where we could have the possibility of as much as 10,700 cases in the peak week.
This projected scale of increase is significantly higher than the 4,000 cases seen in the peak week of the second wave and the 1,000 cases in the peak week of the first wave. Dr. McKenzie says if that happens, the mortality rate could rise to as much as 180 deaths in a week where there is a peak.
Now, 180 deaths in 1 week is something that we would not want to see. It means also that there's going to be a severe stress on our beds. And where we went up to 716 beds at peak, we could be going up to needing as much as 1,900 beds. Do we have 1,900 beds? We do not.
The CMO says that even while current restrictions are working and there is a current decline in the number of cases and bed occupancy since April, there can be no room for complacency. The country's COVID-19 bed capacity now stands at over 600. Dr. Bisesa McKenzie says persons should not be panicked by the threat, but instead take the necessary precautions, such as social distancing, wearing masks in public, staying home as much as possible, avoid gatherings, and wash or sanitize hands frequently. Meanwhile, Jamaica's travel ban on travelers from the United Kingdom will be lifted with effect from tomorrow. The ban was instituted as part of measures under Jamaica's Disaster Risk Management Act in response to the spread of the UK variant strain of COVID-19. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett says lifting the ban on international visitors from the United Kingdom will re-allow transit through the critical gateways of Heathrow and Gatwick airports. But he points out that this will be for persons who are fully compliant with the health and safety protocols required for international travel. Minister Bartlett says this development is critical for the opening up of the summer tourist season and facilitating travel for members of the diaspora. He says the lifting of the ban is also against the background of the improved vaccination program in the UK and the fact that almost 50% of UK residents have received their second dose of vaccinations. Jamaica reopened its borders last June and has since welcomed approximately 1.5 million visitors to the country. The Caribbean Examination Council CXC has extended the deadline for the submission of school-based assessment SBAs for CSEC exams. Education Minister Favour Williams made the announcement during a virtual town hall meeting last evening. She says the extension was granted after the ministry made a request to CXC for the change on behalf of concerned Jamaicans.
CXC will facilitate a phased submission of SBAs. That is, the submission deadline of June 18 be retained for the research subjects, while submissions for the practical subjects be submitted on June 30th. No penalty will be attached to the extension.
Chief Executive Officer of CXC, Wayne Wesley, warns that despite the extension, SBAs are to be submitted as soon as they are completed by the respective center.
For those SBAs that are of a research nature and can be completed within the time frame, we would encourage those, once they are completed, to be uploaded to help with the concern about all SBAs coming in at the same time because an extension is given.
CXC examinations are scheduled to begin on June 14, with students sitting both Paper 1 and Paper 2. Students will have until May 1 to defer sitting the exams. Results should be released in September. The draft Jamaica Teaching Council bill, which seeks to establish a system of licensing educators, is now with the Attorney General's office.
Its purpose is to recognize and promote teaching as a profession, to continue to improve the quality of teaching and learning in Jamaica by regulating the entry and standing of members of the teaching profession.
The Education Minister says the bill will establish and maintain the registers of teachers and the role of instructors. It will also establish and maintain professional standards for teacher competence and practice, regulate the professional conduct of teachers, and create an enabling environment for their continuing professional development. And finally, Education Minister Favour Williams says numerous early childhood institutions will be transitioned to government infant schools.
There are 107 early childhood institutions that have been assessed as ready to be transitioned to government infant schools. We will get this done.
She says the ministry will also be intensifying the in-service training of early childhood practitioners to expand their understanding of the value of play and friendly teacher interactions for children at this age. Additionally, the rollout of the Brain Builders and early stimulation programs will continue. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.